Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, March 9th, and we are streaming. Started a little late, so it's kind of late. We're hoping to kind of play Overload cards, kill minions, and then maybe get through the Warlock quest quicker than normal. I don't really need any victories, so that makes a decent time to play ranked. Actually, I do need 2 ranked wins to get the card back. I think with the new system, it is possible that I will miss some of the card backs that happen, just because I'll forget that I'm supposed to do them. There's nothing actually in Hearthstone that tells you whether you have the card back, the 5 ranked wins you need to get, until you win or lose. In fact, I don't think you even see the notification unless you win, and after you have all 5 wins, I don't think you see the notification at all. Which is going to make it difficult to stay on top of that with 3 different accounts. Hatsune Miku VR came out on Steam March 8th. It's rated very positive, 67 out of 99 users. Well, no, 87 out of 99 users rated it positively. So, do you have to play it with VR? Yes, requires a VR headset, so that's a shame. Hatsune Miku is potentially getting pushed out as the VR girl of the time. There's a new virtual YouTuber that is growing in popularity, and Hatsune Miku's music is its own niche thing that loses some popularity when it's a non-Japanese audience. Like, even if she's singing in English, the software, the Vocaloid software that is used to make her sound is not speaking in a good English dialect that is easy to understand for Westerners. There's a lot of Hatsune Miku games that have come out as mostly to just make more money. Let's see, how much is this one? 20% off for $20. If you have a VR headset, this probably would be one of the things I would buy, though. Like, because at the very least, you know it's not total just VR trash for that exists for no reason other than to milk people out of money. This is Hatsune Miku's dancing around singing, and you're supposed to hit the musical notes in kind of a rhythm action game. I saw another VR game. It was called like Rhythm Saber, where you have 2 lightsabers and you have to swipe them to the rhythm and hit these boxes that are floating towards you. It looked pretty interesting. Warhammer Vermintide has come out, which is to say I probably will never play. No, Warhammer Vermintide 2 has come out, which is to say I probably will never play the first one, which kind of sucks. Like, Vermintide's too much of a multiplayer game. It looked weird enough and different enough that it would have caught my attention otherwise. But the multiplayer aspect and the fact that at best it's a AA game and not a AAA game, so people are not likely to play Vermintide over, say, Counter-Strike Go or something like that. So it's not going to have as big of an active player base, and it's going to be in that Warhammer universe, which I know nothing about. I was very interested, or at least moderately interested, in Vermintide 1. Now I feel a burden to play 1 before I play 2. And who knows what, if any, single experience can be had on Vermintide 1 now that 2 is out. Speaking of things being out, fresh out of early access, H1Z1 has gone free to play. 3-year long early access period. H1Z1's going free to play just ahead of the game's inaugural Pro League esports session. It's a notable jump, especially since H1Z1 emerged from a lengthy early access period as a $19.99 game. So you were paying $20 before for H1Z1. Now everybody new to the game is playing for free, which I should have played the totem first. I would have killed that guy. This inherently says that H1Z1 is admitting they've sucked as much money out of the people up front as possible, and now they're going to try and suck money out of people via microtransactions. Let's see. To compensate for the loss of the $19.99 $20 price tag, Daybreak is adding 3 tiers of DLC packs priced at $20, $50, and $100 that grant players access to additional loot boxes, in-game currency, and cosmetic items. Existing players are set to receive a handful of in-game goodies when the free-to-play swamp takes hold. So they're not completely screwing the current player base, just kind of mostly screwing them. Like, they're going to give you a bunch of in-game goodies and probably some loot to buy some loot boxes so they can try and turn you into somebody who would buy more loot boxes. PC Gamer has an article, Fight Lovecraftian Nazis in Strategy Game Octoon Cthulhu Tactics. So Octoon means stop, unless my German's wrong, which it very possibly is. So stop Cthulhu Tactics. I want to, like, this is a kickstarted game. It was kickstarted earlier this year and released later this year. This is another one of those PC Gamer articles that's just an advertisement. Like, you have no release date, you have nothing to say about this game. They really shouldn't be looking at Kickstarter at all. Like, I don't see any reason why any video game company, video game reporting website should cover Kickstarter games. I guess maybe it gets you some clickbait titles, maybe it gets you some more views, but in all practicality, in actually reporting any information that would be helpful whatsoever, you get nothing from a Kickstarter. Like, there's no guarantee the game is ever going to come out. They don't release announced dates. By the time they do release an announced date, if they ever do, you've already potentially talked about the same product multiple times. It just feels like you're wasting your breath. Let's see, moving on. There's a game called Project Miles, spelled M-E with an apostrophe over it, L-I-E with a different apostrophe over it, a different dash mark, and S is the next game from the developers of Observer and Layer of Fear. Let's watch this trailer. So I need one more victory to get a season chest. But I don't need to play Overload cards, I need to now play Warlock cards. So let's hope this is Warlock cards and play. Wow, there's nothing in this trailer at all. You're just zooming in zooming down like a flooded house or something. Let's see. They're moving too fast. Layers of Fear was a very simplistic game, and it was a fine horror thing. It did a lot better than I would imagine, I would argue maybe Amnesia did, but because there's some things in the original Amnesia game that I don't particularly like, the hide and seek elements per se. And Observer kind of didn't improve that much over Layers of Fear. So if they're just on to their next game and they're just every year going to put out another game that is just the same thing with very slight improvements, like I don't think that's gonna work. Let's play that. There's an interesting game that caught my eye that came out on Steam March 8th. No reviews yet, but it's called Super Asteroids. And it's an evolved version of Asteroids. Now, I would argue that Asteroids is not really a great game in the first place. But some people, very old people, because Asteroids is a very old arcade game that was in black and white vector graphics originally. Some people might have some nostalgia for Asteroids. So this idea of making a better version of that is kind of cool. Like, I'm looking at a trailer where you're basically playing Asteroids, but there's color, there's new abilities, there's large varieties of Asteroids, there's a boss, it looks like. It seems like you chip away at boss. There's 3 different life bar elements, so there's something there. But the question is, can somebody just randomly make a game called Asteroids and not violate a trademark or a patent? Or is the phrase Asteroids just so generic that there is no patent on it? And weirdly, when I'm scrolling here on Steam on More Like This, it's not pushing out any game like Asteroids. It's like Nier Automata and Rocket League. They're recommending just general games. Like E for Everyone, it says it's rated. I bet it wasn't actually rated. A lot of people lie. And so that's what's gonna be my reason to not want to wishlist this game. No other game has been made by this developer who is also the publisher. So this is just a Steam Direct thing. I'm going to follow this, however, because this could be a new story in the making. Somebody is violating the Asteroids copyright and made their own Asteroids, and maybe they even did a good job on it. Says it has Steam achievements, and it does. This E for Everyone from the ESRB, though, is I heavily suspect not true. People just steal that image and say on Valve and Steam quite a bit. Speaking of Valve and Steam, Gabe Newell, hooray! Gabe Newell, quote, hooray, Valve's going to start shipping games again. Valve was, quote, jealous of Nintendo, now has the expertise to develop hardware and software simultaneously. I would argue maybe they do, maybe they don't. Like the Steam Link and Steam machines didn't really succeed, so we're not seeing any pattern of actual success there. Personal good news to me is that Gabe Newell at least dyed his hair and looks a little bit skinnier and a little bit healthier in this image than the previous meeting I saw him in. Like, he looked really, really bad in the previous meeting. So hopefully he's being a little bit healthier. It's kind of funny seeing his son make his own announcement into the world, and his son is all buff and works out. And I'm like, man, you need to take your dad out, take your dad with you to the gym. So mostly this was an announcement, though, of the game Artifact, the card game that has 3 different boards. It's not a terrible idea, but it is something that would be too complicated, I think, for me to play. So, like, maybe I will get into Artifact and play it, but I think maybe I'll just spotlight it too, because it, to me, strikes me like I'd have to start all over again. Now would be the time to start, however. And I would have to pay more attention to playing Hearthstone, which would mean less attention to playing reading news and covering news like this. There's not really too much to get from this. Is that just that Gabe Newell kind of would like to make a console, which isn't a terrible idea. Like a Valve console PC, something that was a standardized device. I wouldn't be really surprised if it got down to the point where Microsoft contracted with Valve to make a console, or Sony contracted with somebody to make a console. I'm just playing Warlock cards right now. The weird thing is, if Artifact succeeds, great. That doesn't mean that they're really gonna make any more games. Not until Artifact succeeds enough to change how business is run in Valve, which I don't think that's ever gonna happen until Gabe Newell lets go of the company. So if it's a great success, they'll be happy, but they won't change anything that actually forces any of their employees to actually like do work. That's the problem. Is in Valve you don't actually have to work on anything you don't want to. You just don't. So that's why things don't get fixed in Steam. That's why games don't get made. PUBG is the 3rd highest earning game on Steam according to Gabe Newell, which I assume that means Counter-Strike Go is the 1st highest, and let's see, what's the other game? Dota 2, maybe? Team Fortress 2? Yeah, he didn't say which one, what the other game was. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if this is really much of a article by Gamatsu, but Compile Heart Cute RPG, quote, Cute RPG countdown trailer has been launched. What do you mean by cute RPG? I'm looking at this trailer and I'm seeing anime girls. Like, but what does that really mean? Does that mean you're doing something along the lines of a Pokemon game where you're not? I mean, it would have to be something even less violent than a Pokemon. But to get back to video game violence, Pokemon is E for everyone, and you still have the animals fighting each other. Like, let's see. The translation of the Japanese text is at 7 seconds. It says, "Could it be a love adventure game? The girls of Mary Skelter appear in school uniforms and swimsuits with the protagonists in the background. A logo for Rogokuto, Mary Skelter, Love Prison Tower, Mary Skelter appear on screen. This is the title of the visual novel leaked as included with pre-orders for Mary Skelter 2. Be sure to keep an eye on Compile Heart Spring new title presentation at the Dengeki Game Fest 2018. And then at 27 it says Earphones XJA Sensor. So it probably is just a romance RPG type thing. Demon. Yeah, not much of an article really. It's just yet another trailer video that I normally wouldn't even have talked about. That we already talked about the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy coming out. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has been confirmed with the logo. But I think people already knew the logo, so like, is there actually any date here? It's coming October 12th. So anybody hyped about Black Ops 4 can anxiously wait till the 4th. So we already talked about that. We already talked about that. I think we already talked about Valkyrie Profile Lilith coming to smartphones in the spring of Japan. Fortnite Battle Royale is heading to mobile devices very soon. Features PS4 and PC crossplay. iOS and it's coming out to iOS on Monday and Android in the next few months. I don't know how you play Fortnite Battle Royale on your smartphone, and I certainly don't know how you have any possible chance of being competitive against people playing on PC and other people. Like, I'm not sure if the iOS version is going to have crossplay. It says Fortnite on mobile will support crossplay and cross progression. This means that PlayStation 4, PC, Mac, and iOS, and eventually Android users will be able to team up and play together. Like, that is super ambitious, but it kind of makes sense too, considering the company that makes Fortnite is the company that makes the engine. The idea of trying to convince other people to use their engines to make both cell phone versions and console versions and PC versions of games makes a lot of sense, because then your engine is better than other engines and more flexible. Super Bomberman R was rated for the PS4 in Korea. Switch title seemingly coming to the PS4, or it could just be a bug in the system. Super Bomberman R was launched for Switch in March 2017. It was launched very poorly. I believe it had terrible frame rate. So this might be the first version in which you can actually play it for the few people that actually care to play a Bomberman game. It comes and it goes, I suppose. I mean, like, if I owned the license to Bomberman, I'd make Bomberman games. Even I wouldn't not make them, but I don't know what I would do with them to actually make them more have a wider appeal. See, we already talked about the Dark Souls amiibo. I already talked about this. So many articles. Like, just the exact same articles I open up double time. I think maybe my Twitter has decided to change how it's showing me content secretly. There's a new 13-minute gameplay video of Super Robot Wars X that shows the first chapter, Journey Prologue. Super Robot Wars X is due out for the PS4 and Vita in Japan on March 29th, and Southeast Asia with subtitles in April 26th. See, I'm watching this game, and it looks like a mobile game. I think Super Robot Wars was a mobile game originally. Need to kill more minions while I'm playing. Yeah, it seems like it's just kind of a tactics based top-down RPG game. Doesn't look that interesting to me. I've heard the name though. What's this game? There is a game that came out February 22nd, 2018, and now it is on sale in early access for 34% off, so it's $9.89, and it's made by a company called Supra Games. This is called Superland. They also have a free-to-play game called Super Ball. It doesn't look awful, but it has no reviews, and that's really weird. Like, why does this game have no reviews when it looks kind of like a physics simulator, run around and fight and kill? It's single player only, has full controller support. Seems to have multiple different things you do. The characters are kind of like gingerbread men, these red gingerbread men-esque characters. That might be what is catching people off. Let's see. There's only 2 reviews. They're both positive, and they're both fake reviews, it seems. And the only reason I saw this game is not because it's new. It's because Valve promoted it. Steam's Twitter promoted it, which is a little weird. I guess they're trying. They're trying to promote this game, but early access $10. I wouldn't spend $10 on this game. It looks fine. It looks good. It's not total garbage. It's not 8-bit pixel, but it could just be an asset flip to you, and I wouldn't be willing to risk the money on it, so I can't really say anything else about it. Let's see, there's a game that came out March 9th called Mahjong Magical Journey. Let's see how much it is, because that'll be the killer here. It's $5 to play Mahjong Solitaire. Let me point out again, there is a software you can Google called Koja Mahjong 3D that you can get as shareware free to play that came out like a decade ago, and it is still by far the best Mahjong solitaire game I've ever seen. Oops, just killed my own guy. Killed the wrong one too. So when comparing any Mahjong solitaire game to that, free really defeats it. There are no reviews on this game. I wouldn't pay that money for this. You just don't know how long it goes. It does have Steam achievements. And supposedly has Steam trading cards, which a lot of games used to at least be completely developed and sold around the idea of having trading cards and nothing else. There's a game called Sacrament that came out March 9th. It has 5 reviews and is looking like it's at 54.17%. It says adventure, nudity, sexual content, indie casual. What does that really mean? Is it a visual novel? I bet it's a visual novel. Seeing a lot of fantasy guys. So this might be one for fans of dudes. Because I'm seeing one anime girl in the background on the last scene, and then the rest of the trailer was dudes. So yeah, this is a romance game where I think you might be playing as a girl going after the good looking guys. Yeah, every single scene has the same girl with a different guy in the background. So many possibilities. Let's see the reviews. None are in my language. They're all in Chinese. Let's see what the languages were supported in this. It's English only. It doesn't even have Chinese or Japanese language. We haven't seen too many visual novels lately. I guess we got far enough away from the Tokyo Game Show that they're out of their fiscal year, and they're out of the point where they want to or need to announce anything new. Let's see the description for Sacrament. This game features a more girl appealing wolf. This is a game with features that are more girl appealing. Gameplay is a fascinating novel in which your choices will influence all, including all different endings. That doesn't sound well worded. Maybe that was not originally in English, but then why is the game only being sold in English? Well, nothing there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. If I had the time, I would develop a system where I sort through more of these games and just talk about games that actually matter. Let's see. A game called Tensei Shitara Slime Data Kin has been confirmed for smartphones. What is this? It looks like a fantasy JRPG. Apparently this is a newer series that hasn't come to the West because it's not got a different translation. It's going to be released for iOS and Android in Japan, which I guess that implies that iOS and Android are equally viable platforms in Japan compared to the rest of the world. I imagine there are some countries where it's all Android. I imagine China and maybe Korea, South Korea is all Android phones with very little iOS support. Let's see. This game will be a free-to-play RPG with item-based microtransactions. And with one picture looking at it and knowing it's just going to be a smartphone game in Japan, I'll probably not need to do any more research. And they're doing their cheating move again. I'm just straight up calling it cheating now. It's not a strategy at this point. Like, it's a flaw in the system. It's exploiting a flaw. And it's not fun to lose to this. It's not fun to lose to this at all. Fortunately, I don't believe I actually needed to win. I just need to kill a couple more things. So let's just, for fun, play the Murlocs. We already talked about Scarlet Grace. Weird looking game out of nowhere. A couple of games came out for VR at the same time on February 15th, 2018, or maybe they've been re-released. And they're VR games where one VR game is one guy and the other VR game is another guy, and it's really just a marriage simulator. Like, if you need your husband, though, which, yeah, that's what they call him, the waifu equivalent. There's this game. Unfortunately, it's all in Japanese, but I think it's called Wedding VR, and one is Masamune, Masamune, and the other is Wedding VR Henry, and I bet there's even a third one. Yes, there's a Wedding VR Yamato. Each is $8 if you need your VR husband, though. 11-Bit Studios has a Frozen City sim called Frostpunk. I think we've already talked about this game. It looked slightly interesting. It's coming out April 24th, 2018. I'm still a little iffy on playing a city simulator that is, its only real twist is it's a frozen city. I'm not sure I want to play a city simulator at all. Need to kill things quickly. March 9th, a game called Calvin Tucker's Farm Animal Racing came out. It has no reviews. However, it doesn't look terrible. Like, I'm still crossing my fingers for Steam and trying to find something that would be like a Mario Kart-esque or Diddy Kong Racing-esque game. I guess if I'm going to say it's Diddy Kong Racing-esque, that's probably because it would have more types of vehicles than just karting. This game seems like it's mostly just karting. Well, actually, it's animals riding in tractors and things. The graphics don't look great. And so that's a slight problem. But there is a map and an accelerometer and positions. It seems like there's a couple different positions. There's Mario Kart style abilities, environmental hazard blocks to pick up those abilities. Need somebody to actually play some minions so I can kill them. Let's see, it's single player only. I think that's gonna be part of the problem. They only want, it's 10% off right now for $2.70, and that seems a little weird too. Let's take this guy and hold on to him. and here and there. Let's see. Seems like they have 12 unique tracks. That's not terrible to start with. So if you wanted to risk it, Calvin Tucker's Farm Animal Racing seems like it's something that you might be interested in. However, now that I've looked at their publishing, the games that they've made, Team 8 Studios or Team 6 Studios, I think, they have another game that came out the exact same day called Supersonic Racer, and apparently one game I got for free at some point called Hyper Fighters, because it's in my library and it's rated negatively. There's 3 other games that are rated negatively, 1 neutral, and Flat Out Complete Pack is the only game that they've ever released that is even rated positively. And that seems like that flies in the face of any hope that this would be any good when you have a full list of games here that you've released and they're not good, and you're flooding Steam. And let's see, the publisher has published several other games, but not a lot of them look like they're rated very good. So that's a definite hold off. That's not making it to my wish list if it's an untrustworthy, unproven company. Let's see. Give them some more cards to play. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition has a Nintendo Switch release date. It's coming out in Europe and North America on the 18th of May. So, if you didn't play Hyrule Warriors on the 3DS or the Wii U, which you probably didn't, you could now play it on the Switch. And ignoring the fact that the latest Hyrule game looks like it's a total piece of garbage, the Hyrule Warriors, I think, actually did a pretty decent job of giving you a game where you can just mash the button and run around and beat on a bunch of enemies, which is what the Warriors series of games has always really been about. We already talked about the Crash Bandicoot remaster coming to PC. Not super interested in that. Like that really is a game somebody would have to buy the game for me before I'd even consider playing it. I'd have to be forced into actually trying to play the Crash Bandicoot games because I have such a little interest in that series. That being said, I am pretty greedy on games and do want them all because I know I'll just end up buying them all anyways. There was a game that came out February 6th on Steam called Octageddon. It's rated very positive, 87 of the 86 users. And it's an octopus that gets different types of creature arms. Which, let me see if I can explain this better. It gets like a chicken for an arm and lasers for arms, and it rolls around, and it sort of looks like it's the equivalent of a maybe really simplistic bullet hell game, or maybe it's just an action game. Maybe it's more of a clicker style game. There's some destruction of buildings, but I wouldn't say it's just a building destruction game. Seems to be a little bit all over the place. But people like it. And it looks silly. But it's $12.88 too. It's 82 it's 82 on Metacritic right now. Too long didn't read Calamari Damacy. Okay. Is that what it is? Is something like Calamari Damacy? Like, Octagon has a lot of the DNA of the author's previous game, Plant vs. Zombies. Ah, so it was made by that. But where Plant vs. Zombies is finally too hard and balanced towards casual and hardcore play, Octagon suffers from too much RPG and a lack of complexity. And that's a not recommended review. I think I'm gonna wishlist this one. This one looks crazy enough that it'd be fun to play. I always like wild and goofy things. And it's being developed by Good, which is certainly not the people that own Plants vs. Zombies anymore. So, but I think the guy who actually made Plants vs. Zombies a long time stopped working for that company. And it got bought out by, what was it, Electronic Arts, I believe, bought Plants vs. Zombies. Let's see. Let's see. Ultra Hunt came on to the chat and said, "Hey guys, how's this going?" Tragic Master said, "Yo, it's going pretty good. Pretty good Friday stream. Ever since I started clickbaiting my titles, I've been getting more subscribers and more viewers by far on streams, and it stopped being, even on the Fridays, instances of just playing for 7 hours and nobody talking and nobody watching. And I guess that proves that some people actually do have Fridays off, because I was really taking it for more of a example that people were just busy on Fridays and had different things to do. Let's see, let's do that. What can I kill? What can I kill? We'll kill this guy. Just trying to kill the requisite number of minions. Let's see. Which one is this? YouTube creators, I believe, tweeted out a congratulations, yes, 8 hours ago to Will Smith for reaching 1 million subs. That is interesting and important, I think, to point out that Will Smith is a pretty popular movie actor, and he just now, 8 hours ago, reached 1 million subs. It really goes to show that YouTube is not the place for famous people or people who are supposed to be famous, allegedly, to come in and take over and be in control. Whereas Twitter, on the other hand, kind of did exactly that. They did bend over backwards to have famous people on Twitter and give them special verification marks and special abilities to filter people and special consideration for the famous people to break rules and insult people and be rude. But this also goes to show that YouTube is really trying to bring in famous actors, that YouTube effectively at this point hates its content creators and wants to get rid of them and replace them with famous people. I think that a lot of that comes directly from Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube. When you see her first YouTube video that she ever made, it's full of people like The Rock, and when you see that famous Viners are cowed down to and given special consideration, that's crazy. And when you think about it, Will Smith is not going to create any content on YouTube, really. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if his channel, I'm already off the page, so I can't go look at his channel. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a few, like, very short blog clips where he talks to his audience. Maybe he gets on there and raps. Maybe he's got a funny video or two. But I imagine it barely has 5 videos, and none of them are, I imagine, very long or substantive. Like, so here are the games that I think Twitch Prime gave over, the card packs. Let's see, what do I want to trade? We have Hunter, Shaman, and Mage. What do I not want to play? I don't want to play Paladin and Warrior. That's, oh, win 5 Tavern Brawls. Thanks. Yeah, that's the greatest one of all. Worst daily quest ever. I should do a take 2 of that. Worst daily quest ever. I'm probably doing a terrible impression of Comic Book Guy. I could use a legendary and some good cards in Kobolds and Catacomb. There's not a ton of common cards or anything that I don't think I don't already have. This was the latest expansion, so like just over time I've managed to collect, I think, most of everything. The 50 card packs when the first expansion came out, compared to, let's see, how much of this goes in the dust? 150 of this. So I got 15 cards. Wait, what? How is this happening? I must have had some other cards. Like, because I only got 15 cards. Okay, disenchant that for 150. And let's look on Kobolds versus Catacombs in crafting mode, so I can see what I do have and what I don't have. I could craft an epic, and I will go craft an epic in the classic. So everything grayed out. Actually, I guess I don't need that. I can just type in missing and save us all sometime. Alright, start on missing. So with 50 card packs that I'm pretty sure I purchased for Kobolds versus Catacomb when it came out, and then I would argue maybe I've gotten somewhere between 10 and 12 other card packs. I'm missing these cards for Druid, which isn't terrible, and these cards, like, and I could create that for 100. In fact, that's not a terrible card to create for 100. Let's do that. Because Kobolds versus Catacombs, by the way, is not one of the ones going. I'm missing these cards. Most of these are going to be epics and legendaries. If I got another 50 card packs of Kobolds versus Catacombs, I probably would get all of the commons and rares, the blue gems, done, and maybe half of the epics or most of the epics, and wear this list down a little bit, but I still would have a decent number of legendaries that I don't have, and that's just in this expansion alone. That's not all missing cards ever. Like, if we were to try and look at all of those, there's a ton of them. But we're slowly working towards getting everything done. But mostly, I'm trying to, even on my main account that has way more cards than the European or Asian account, I'm still trying to play in such a way that I'm going to play standard instead of trying to play wild. Like, wild really is passing me by as something that only should be played by people that are that were in the beta and have spent a bunch of money. Let's see. So here's the classic cards. I could get this, and then that would be the end of the hunter deck. I could get this, and then there'd be only one more epic left here. Or I could get this and play that, and I can't do any of these. There's 6 here, so theoretically 300 card packs on classic at most are needed to get these neutral cards, which is ridiculous. I should have a complete collection at this point. I'm not sure any of these legendaries that I have I even really specifically want. Probably this is a good one. This one's not terrible. This is the one I'm saving up for because it's a pirate, and it would be the last pirate in the collection. Like, this would be good. This would be good. Some of the decent legendaries, like this is a very good legendary to have. I'm just gonna get rid of Hunter though and craft that epic. And the way card packs work now, I don't think you get gold at all until you have a complete collection. So I don't think there's a gold version of anything. We're not missing any of the basics. Remember, Karazhan, Gadgetsan, and I believe Unguru are all about to go away too. Yeah, and I have slightly over 5,000 card, 5,000 gold. So that's a 50 card pack opening when the next expansion happens. I'd like for the next expansion to wait so I have 10,000 so I could open 50 card packs of classics too. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. Fortunately, they are going to change these daily quests to increase the amount of gold you get. And that'll be interesting too. Anyways, we've gone about 50 minutes, so that's going to be it for this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me, gift me a game on Steam, or if you really want to support my Hearthstone thing, gift me some packs on Hearthstone too. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.